Hello, everyone, and welcome to the big show. This is Investing and Trading Live, sponsored by Trading Academy. If you're a first-time listener, thank you for stopping by. As always, I am your host, Josh Lilquist, and we are happy to have you with us today. I do have my good friend, my good pal. It feels like it's been a few weeks. It feels like it's been a couple months. And yes, I am a little tanner nowadays after the last couple weeks here, but how are you doing today?
You're finally looking healthy. You know what? I'm doing fantastic. I feel good. I don't need that kind of color, I guess, and I don't need to get tanned.
Did you say I finally look healthy?
Yeah, you look healthy.
Is it
healthier?
Oh, is it because of all the McDonald's I've been eating?
Yeah, must be the Big Macs.
Well, you're doing well, aren't you?
I'm doing fantastic. Yeah, I feel great.
That's good. It's good to have you back on the show. It's good to be back on the show. We've had a good week in the market, and people are probably wondering, what the heck are you talking about? There's been a lot of volatility. Well, that's exactly right. Volatility is phenomenal in the financial markets. We're going to talk about that. How to take advantage of these great markets. They have been chugging along to the upside. Big drop on Thursday with the major markets. But, hey, you know what? All it does is spells opportunity. You know, there's always opportunity whether it goes up. We're going to talk about that. Everybody knows that. But there's also opportunity as it goes down. We're going to talk about that as well and enlighten you, our listeners, especially on our global podcast, Investing and Trading Live, and helping you make smarter investing decisions. As I mentioned, the markets reached, again, right at all-time highs again this week, but Thursday we had a big drop down over almost 2% roughly in the S&P 500. And what I'm looking at is the S&P 500 ETF, which is the SPY. The Dow Jones, same story, but there's been a bigger drop where from the highs we're down about 3% on the day, depending on when you listen to the show here. If you listen to the show next week on the podcast, you might be wondering what's going on. Well, that's obviously a different day. So the NASDAQ, same story, reached right around all-time highs, seen a little drop here. On Friday, we've seen a little spike up. It gapped up and showed some strength right into the early morning hours of, and when I say early morning hours, that's after 8:30 Central Time when the market opens. So we're just seeing some good volatility there. One thing I want to note here is gold. Gold and silver. Gold reaching $2,300 per troy ounce. Great for us gold holders. I talk a lot about gold on the podcast, and just great opportunities there. Same thing with silver, almost $27 per ounce there as well. So some good opportunities there, and that's a tangible thing that people have heard about, they know about. Cryptocurrency has been slowing down. Our mobile token has slowed down a little bit. The Bitcoin market, 67,000-ish. It's been hovering around that area here since, we'll say, about the end of February. So crypto has slowed down. The dollar continuing to be a little stronger than normal. And I like talking about all this stuff before the show. I got Al writing, little notes. He's like, he talked about this, he talked about that, because I'm glad you do that, because I know you're going to cover it. I just got to give you some topics today. One more before we do that. There was a stock that I was looking at last week. What was it? Was it Nike? Nike just been having a struggle of a time over the past, from the high around $178, currently at $89. So Nike has been struggling here for quite some time. So some markets are going up, some markets are going down. There are opportunities in both directions. Al, let's discuss.
Well, the markets do go up, the markets go down, they go sideways, and there are assets and strategies you can use for any direction, whether it's up, down, or sideways. You did mention a whole bunch of things there that I need another hour to cover.
Well, I'm glad we got an hour-long show here today.
Okay, but you talked about volatility, and a lot of people out there listening are going, I've seen my accounts, my portfolio, they're going up, they're going down, they're going up, they're going down, they're pretty much sideways. What's he talking about? What's this volatility thing that's so good? Well, volatility is great if you know how to use it, and you can use it to your advantage. In fact, it's one of the things that we look forward to because we have greater opportunities when that happens. You mentioned gold. Gold is something that people turn to when they're a little bit concerned about the economy. So when we see, gold reach highs like that, gold and silver, precious metals, maybe it's an indication that people are getting a little concerned out there.
They call it a flight to safety, is what they say.
It's a flight to safety, right. Well, and we've seen, I think this really kind of feeds into what we always say, Josh, is that people base their investments on emotions. They base their investments on what they think should happen, or they listen to somebody that tells them what should happen based on their opinion, which is basically just a guess. This last week, you mentioned on Thursday, the market took a big dump down. I mean, it was down significantly.
Did you say big dump?
That's what I said. Can I say that on air?
We can say whatever we want to say.
All right, then it was a big
Especially
dump.
on the podcast. This is our podcast.
It was down big. Why did that happen? Well, one of the Fed governors made a comment about, maybe we don't need to cut rates as soon as we thought. Oil was up. Which has an impact on inflation.
Yeah, currently oil is sitting right around the $86 mark.
Right.
Coming into a supply zone, though, but then we'll talk about supply and demand a little bit later.
Sure. But there were a couple of things that really impacted the market, and it went down. It was down big. On Friday, the jobs report came out, and there were 303,000 new jobs, which exceeded everybody's expectations. It was the 39th straight month of growth.
Woo.
And the unemployment rate actually went down a bit. Now, the reason I mention this is that not that long ago, maybe 6 months ago, a year ago, if a report like that came out, the market would take another big fall. But the market was up. At least in the morning, it was up after that jobs report. So bottom line is you can't just make your investments based on what you think should happen. Maybe you're basing your opinion or your judgment on something that did work before. The problem is that you can't count on things always working just because they worked before. But there are things that you can count on, and that's what you need to concentrate on. What factually always has and always will move the price of something? Because that really is the most important thing if you're going to be an investment or a trader, is the movement of price of something that you invest in.
Yep.
If you could identify when that's going to happen so you can be accurate on your entry and your exits, you have an opportunity of taking advantage of volatility. You have an opportunity to benefit with strategies and assets for up markets, down markets, and sideways markets.
Yeah, and I know we have a lot more to discuss on that. As a matter of fact, we were doing a class here this morning, and one of the nice guys came up and said to me, "Hey, are you one of the gurus here?" And I just said, "Oh, please don't tell me that." It made me cringe a little bit because a guru is just a guy or a gal online that just talks about things, right? Well, there's no such thing as a guru, in my opinion, because that's just a person. We're an academy here in Bloomington. We're an academy that trains people how to invest and trade. It's not just a one-man band or not a person just giving opinions. Basing decisions off of facts, and that's supply and demand, which we're going to cover here in the next few segments here. So, matter of fact, we actually have investing classes that we're getting a lot of people to come into that want to know more about the financial markets and do different things with the markets, income strategies and wealth strategies. So I want to invite you to one of these classes by simply texting the word investing to the number 210-210, and this is for 2 seats for an investing class here in the metro area. Text investing to the number 210-210. Al, coming up next, we're going to talk about futures, Forex, options, continue this volatility opportunity in retirement accounts and income accounts. This is Josh and Al, Investing and Trading Live. We will be right back.